Hi guys, what's going on, and welcome back to Pagan Online. So we're now in the 4th round of closed beta trials, and quite a bit has been changing in the game since the last 2 videos I put out, so I thought it would be time to have another look at what's changed, look at some of the new features in the game, as well as just kind of see some of the things like I want to take a look at some of the crafting mechanics later on in the video, as well as to show you some more of the combat if you've not been able to get into the trials for yourself, or if this is the first time you've heard about the game, and maybe you'd just like to learn a little bit more about it. So first thing first, let's try and get out of this actually alive, otherwise it won't be a very good start if I die within the first 30 seconds of the video. There we go, got him down. So if you don't know how the game works, it is obviously the controls are one of the main things that's different. It's controlled by WASD, W-A-S-A-D, controls your movement like this. Then you're using your mouse cursor to control your attack direction. So if I click behind me, I attack that way. If I click to my right, you attack that way, etc. You get the idea how that works. And then as you're fighting through the level, you sort of come into these series of mini encounters. So as we come into this larger space here, you can expect to come into an encounter, which we do, and we start to get enemies spawning in. I can then use my weapon and my abilities to try and defeat these various enemies that I've got around me without getting killed, which is sometimes easier said than done. I'll choose a little staff blast there. And then as you complete the individual encounters within a level, like this area here, you'll see at the end we get all the loot. That's quite low there. It's surprisingly hard to play and talk and commentate at the same time. Oh, get my shields up. I'll go for a taunt to get these people to come in so I can actually kill them. There we go. We've got a bit low on health there, so we'll go for a heal anyway. But as you can see, once you complete the encounter, this is where you can then pick up anything you want to. Bits of gold, some construction and crafting elements, which we'll make use of later on in the video. And then let's continue pushing on with the level. So we're trying to get through this forest basically to reach the side, but I've gone the wrong way. Not a good start. We'll craft around here, we'll walk around here, and hopefully we should run into the next encounter. They've also added pets into the game. We've now got this, I think it's called Descendants. It's like a phoenix type pet, and by having this around, this actually gives me more experience per level. But different pets are ultimately going to be giving different character abilities. Some might give damage increases, some give gold drop increases, some give more chance of rare loot, etc. But they're just something that's going to be added and developed more going forwards, but this is just one of the early initial testing ones. So, wow, quite a lot of them. Absolutely tons of them. So that's certainly another thing that's changed since some of the previous trials, is that they've significantly increased the number of enemies. Because that's something I noticed quite a bit in the comments on my previous 2 Pagan Online videos, was that people kind of felt that there weren't enough enemies in the individual encounters, and they kind of wanted to see more. And that's something that they seem to have taken on board and has changed quite a bit in this one, that while they've balanced the enemy's damage and defense abilities, they've significantly increased the number of enemies you're fighting in individual encounters. It's certainly something that quite a few people seemed unhappy about, so it's nice to see that they've actually changed that, listened to the advice and taken that on board, so that's pretty cool. Get these zombies down. Ooh, wow, we're getting quite a few people here. Get my shields up. Shield only lasts quite a short period of time though, so it's a bit hard to deal with. I've avoided that big hit from him. I'm going to get that guy in my back. No! Ow. Shield! Shield! Okay, we're getting there. Get my mace out. There we go. Whew. God, quite a lot of stuff from this one. Unfortunately, my recipes are full. I need to empty that out of my inventory. We'll have a bronze charm and plenty of gold. Always need more gold. I think it may be leading us down this gap here. This arrow here is indicating the general orientation of the objective. So let's have a look down this way, if this is the correct way or not. Hopefully it is. Looks like we're going to go into an encounter here. Yes, we are. Let's set off some of the explosives just for a bit of fun. I don't think it's going to be particularly helpful for us. It wasn't. Losing quite a little bit of health. Get my health potions on. They're not automatic, the health potions, so you do have to make sure you actually activate them in time. Otherwise you do die. And it's pretty easy to die. Now we're getting into some of the later parts of the game. It's quite easy to get called out. I just walked into that net there and that trapped me slightly. Shields up if we get these guys coming in. Oh, we've just got those zombies now. Oh, wow. Big guy has spawned. Okay, ow. That immediately hurt enormously. Need shield, need shield. How much health has he got? This is going to be quite a hard one, actually, because of the amount of damage potential these other people have. Try and get me a little bit more me. Just trying to get some distance from him, but I'm not going to let that happen. Goodness. So we've got 4 health potions left, so we're not looking too bad yet. Trying to keep my abilities cycling. As you can see, your abilities are displayed on the bar down the bottom. We do have a limited mana though, so you can't just completely spam them. Plus, of course, they have fairly long cooldown on some of them. Different ones have different lengths of cooldown. So trying to cycle them at the correct time is kind of important sometimes, particularly for when you get to the more tough encounters like some of these. Right, take that down. Obviously, the shield is a huge ability with Isotok, which is his character, in keeping him alive. Because the shield is basically like a short-term invulnerability shield, which is hugely useful when you're being stamped on by this many people. But we seem to be getting down the health of this guy now. Jesus, ow, that hurt. Shield up. Get a little bit more. We might take him down this time. Go for that. Go for the ability. Go for the mace throw. There we go. Okay. Killed Biff. Die. Oh, these guys are not so bad to kill. There we go. Nice. We have managed to kill those guys. I think that's probably going to be the end of this individual encounter, which it is. This is the portal back to the Pantheon, but you get time to go around to have a look if there's anything you want. Some of the crafting materials. Ooh. Oh, I do like a bronze cudgel of ruin. That's nice. I'll probably be equipping that. Let's take a quick look at that in the inventory. So yeah, you can basically go around, pick up all the gold and things and stuff you want. If you have a look at your inventory, you get quite detailed information about your stats. And it's quite nice. I quite like the way the stat system works in this game. I find it to be fairly clear. For example, so if you're looking at, this is the weapon I've currently got equipped, and this is the thing, that's the bronze cudgel of ruin, which I just picked up. And you can see it displays them just side by side. It tells you which one is currently equipped for you. And then it shows you the stat differences. So you could either just read the stat differences off the new weapon, or you can see the plus and minus stat differences at the bottom of the currently equipped. So what would change? You know, so you can see the actual minimum damage is actually less on the Cudgel of Ruins. It's actually not got quite such a good base damage, but it gets much more critical attack damage. I get plus 70 intelligence and an armor rating bonus. So it's kind of something to bear the way up. You'll see my DPS will drop. So 326, but my armor and intelligence take a big buff, or I could decide to have the higher weapon damage but lose a bit of armor intelligence. It's kind of just balancing around your character, and this in turn affects things like your physical damage reduction, which is obviously your armor value, have your various resistances, etc., and then your damage per second and average attack hits, etc. So you kind of get an idea, and you can obviously balancing that with your various rings, amulets, and wards, which all affect that. So let's head back to the Pantheon and perhaps have a bit of a look at crafting and kind of seeing how that's working in the game. So we have now loaded into the crafting part. So as you saw in the game, throughout the world we saw various weapon, ring, amulet, ward recipes that you can collect as you're completing the campaign missions. And these are then displayed here. These are the various recipes that I've got. And you can also unlock blueprints a bit later on in the game. That's something I've not quite got onto yet. But for now, just looking at the recipes. Recipes then require crafting ingredients to make use of them. As you saw, we saw things on the ground, and as you can see the ingredients each individual recipe requires. The blue represents the sort of the less rare crafting recipes. So as you can see, I often have the resources available for most of these. But then say if we look at some of the rarer crafting recipes where they require pretty much epic resources, then as you can see I've only got a few of them and I've not actually got enough to complete that recipe. So there'll be no point in me trying to craft this because I don't actually have the materials required to complete this. So I need to do more questing, get more loot, get enough to be able to start using some of these. It also gives you a broad overview of what it's likely to, the attributes it's likely to put on. So this one, for example, is physical damage and poison damage, plus a chance of 1 or 2 additional random properties. Fortitude, lightning damage, poison damage, etc. Evasion rating. So for example, if we just pick this, we right click it and it loads it into the crafting element. So we've loaded up the recipe and it requires 2 sets of 3 resilient wood. So we're going to have enough to craft this once. So then we can choose our base item that we want to actually do the crafting with. So you can see what currently we've got equipped. You can see the item we've got equipped on the left, and then this is the base item I'm looking at crafting with. So if I was to select this, this one's slightly better by the looks of it. Cheers. If I select that, I put that in the slot, and now I have the option to craft this. It costs me 250 gold. It's also worth pointing out that this is affected by your crafting level over here. I'm only crafting level 2. The higher your crafting level, the sort of more bonuses you get, the higher likelihood you are to get an extra random attribute put on the thing. So we just click craft, spins around, it thinks about it, some fancy animations, and boom, we get a bronze amulet of avoidance, which giving us now an extra 8.9% evasion rating. So we know that that is actually better than what we've got currently equipped. So I can now either equip this if I wanted to, or if I didn't like it, if this wasn't acceptable to me, using the same recipe but requiring more ingredients, I can now have a go at reforging it to see if I get something different. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. You see, I did. So the first one, we got the 8.9% evasion rating. This one, we got the 3.4 critical chance bonus, which is nice, plus a bit of evasion rating. And you could pick the two of which you wanted. You know, if you did that one as your second one and thought, oh, actually, that's worse than what I started with, that's fine. You can go back to the first one and pick that instead. I actually think this is probably an improvement. I'd rather have a bit of extra critical chance over just evasion. If I had more more ingredients, I could do this again and again and again up till 5, and then I could just pick the one that I wanted to use the most. But you are using up crafting ingredients doing that. So I'm going to pick that one. That's the one I want to be using. So hopefully that gives you a bit of an idea of how the crafting system currently working in the game. Yeah, it's quite a nice little system. It seems to work pretty well. So finally, to finish this video off, we are over at the Hero Forge. This is where you get to basically manage your various characters, do customizations in terms of skins and stuff. So if we head over to that, we can have a look at character customization. Basically, as you fight through the game, you can find things called character shards. As you can see, we actually haven't actually got any for stock at the moment. But for example, I've got 5 for Lucian, and once I get to 40, I can then unlock him as a character. So I'll be able to unlock him when it gets to 40, and then that will enable me to then fight with him and use him as a character. And eventually, I'll be able to get all these unlocked. And you can just find these throughout the campaign, as well as some of the side missions, the assassination missions and stuff like that. So there's kind of quite a bit for that to unlock. Then you can also use your shards to unlock different character skins. There's the standard one. There's like a plague doctor. Very cool. And then you get colours as well, different colour customizations. Wow, these people look so badass. So yeah, and you can completely basically customize this. On top of this, we've got the pets like I talked about. Currently, I've just been using the Ascendants because that gives us a 7% experience gain bonus, which is kind of cool. You see, it's like a Phoenix type character. There's also, I don't know, I was looking at this. I'm not quite sure what I would describe this as. a box. It's a box with some spikes on it. But you can have that, and that gives, I think it gives a gold drop. Yeah, gold drop quantity 10% increase. So they provide these small little bonuses that are kind of going to be handy. There's going to be a lot more pets introduced into the game. So that's pretty cool. Certainly something that's going to be quite good going forwards. I think I would rather have the Phoenix. If nothing else, the Phoenix looks fairly cool. So, and that pretty much sums up the Hero Forge. You also get various different emotes and things that you can do, etc., etc. And you can look at progress and sort of abilities, and you can have a look at your stats here as well, as we showed in the inventory. You can look at all this here as well. But anyway, hopefully this video has been useful, giving you a bit of an overview of the current state of the game. If you haven't signed up for any of the trials yet, be sure to do, because I suspect there's probably going to be another set of trials before we go into early access. And it's certainly worth checking the game out. It really is actually really good fun to play. And I'm certainly going to be having more videos on it in the future. So if you're enjoying this content, be sure to subscribe, and I shall see you all on the next Pagan Online video.